long awaited fufu. Chai. Let me turn it. Akwebi papabi. This is good. It's a one.
This fufu is properly loaded.
So good. Many age o makumem. Fufu ni Mmekwan papabi. Okay, apinfo. Fufu ni Mmekwan. Na mini mi kunu e ko competition. E dear to us here. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna do that. So lovely people, welcome. We are making abenkwan today, okay? And this is our abe, which is our palm nut fruit, okay? So when we make abe or when I make abe, I use two types. I use the agric type and I use the abepa. So we have two types, one that is like small and one that is big. The big one has more meat on it, okay? So I'll tell you the reason why I use it, okay? So that is my abe, and I'm giving it a very good wash, and then we'll put it in a big saucepan because it's a big batch, okay? And then we'll boil it. We'll cook it until it is nice and soft, okay? Then we'll pound it. So we are making the more authentic type of abenkwan. We are not doing paste or anything. Yeah, the original or authentic. Okay, authentic abenkwan. Yeah. Okay. So you wash the abe nicely, as I said, and we put it in a saucepan. We boil it. Okay. So the reason why I use those two types of abe is when you use the agric one, which is the big fleshy ones, now your soup become very thick. Okay, when you use the abepana, that one your soup becomes very light. So I like to do it 50-50. Okay, 50-50, so that my soup will become oho neho. It means that there and there, what I say. Very nice. Very nice. Try this combination if you haven't. Okay. All right. So yeah, abe is nicely cooked. It's nice and soft. And as you can see, look at me. I'm trying to open it up and you see how very nice food, very delicious. I like to eat these sometimes. Sometimes with the kakra pro home. So I sprinkle a little bit of salt down. I eat it. It's very good. Okay. So yeah, we're going to be pounding it. And on this day, this is the day I pounded my wache shito. Okay, so you can see that I have my pepper and my onions in the wedro, the abe wedro. Okay, and now wedro, abe wedro. Okay, so yeah, pounding it outside my compound back home in Ghana. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't take long. Trust me, very quickly. Okay, so once you pound it and it becomes nice and chaffy, just say how to explain this one. Cry like when it becomes as you've seen it, okay, means it is ready for you to process, right? So I'll put this one down, I'll put it somewhere, and then we'll go through our protein. Then we'll go through it. So here I have some mackerel, grilled mackerel. I have some mushrooms. I have some grilled snappers. Okay, I have some sana we friends we friends supako. I have some snails, okay? This is dried snails, okay, on the stick. I have some herrings. I have akwebi. I have some of the akosomo. And there's Wele in there. He said, "Namni dear, I am ma won kwine mu. Abe kwine dear. And namni dose one there. And I won't hear so I won't hear nam so and nan su ye there. I have also some tuna, okay, and I have odo won kwine mu. Say kwine your dog that too, okay. So this is my meat, okay. Here I have some cow foot, and then I have normal beef. Okay, this beef is got a bone in it. Okay, so bone in beef, and I have some fresh snails as well. Okay, so we then move on to our vegetables, right? Okay, and our spices and our aromatics. So I have some fresh tomatoes, I have okra, I have my Prekese, the one I'm showing you right now, okay, which is the Aidan fruit, okay, and I have some chili, I have some garden eggs, just to for it to be lying inside my soup. It's not for anything, okay. Onions, ginger, and then I have garlic, okay. So for my spices, okay, my seasoning, something to make your soup very, very delicious. I have some cloves, aniseed, calabash, nutmeg, thyme, rosemary, black pepper, fish powder, and shrimp powder. Okay, so I'm going to be blending all this with my other ingredients, then I will add it to our soup. Our soup is going to be very delicious. If you like Maggie cube and all those things, you can add it, right? So I've peeled my onions, garlic, and ginger, and I'm going to be blending it. So I'm blending half of my chilies, and then the rest of it I'll put it in the soup to boil a little bit, and I'm adding my spices. Okay, so my garlic, onions, ginger, and chilies, and my spices, they are all going in. I'm going to be blending. Here you can see that the shrimp powder is very rough. Okay, I don't want it lying in the soup, so I'm adding it as well, and I'm going to blend it to become very smooth. Okay, we're going to use some of it to um steam the beef and the cow foot, Okay, so this is how it looks like, nicely blended. Okay, so we're going to turn our meat into the saucepan. Okay, it's a very big saucepan because it's a lot of soup we are making. Okay, so I've poured some of my blended spices and aromatics onto the meat, if I can say it that way, right? And I'm adding salt, enough salt to taste. Trust me, I didn't add any other salt after this. I added enough to season the meat, to season everything that will go into this pot. Okay, I'm adding some water to help it steam nicely, right? Okay, so I'll cover it, and this is where I'm adding my snails, okay, the dried ones, and you need it to rehydrate. So I'm letting it. I just said I'm in the tools because I couldn't remove it from the stick. Okay, so once it steams a bit, once my meat steams a little bit, I'm adding my fish, and I'm adding the very hard ones, okay? The ones that needs rehydrating, okay? And I'm adding my snails. I thought I add my snails too early, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So here my palm nuts that I have look at me and pounded nicely. Okay, so I traveled with it. Okay, so as it was, as you saw me pounding in the beginning, I pounded it in Ghana and I brought it in that package to UK. So I'm using it, right. Okay, so here we are going to sort of add water to it. So you need hot water because palm oil is very oily, and you need water to sort of melt it so that you can get the best fruit and the paste out of it. Okay, not the best fruit but the paste out of it. Okay, so I'm removing trying to separate the chaff from the nuts. Okay, the nuts, the big ageno. So it's hot, but just I'm eating my head inside. Okay, so that that's why I have cold water on hand, so that when it's too hot now I pour it on my hand, but it's not too hot that I can handle. Just I've handled hotter stuff, trust me. Okay, so yeah, um, I'll take everything out, and then you see as we go. So here I've taken most of the chaff out. So I'm going to wash my hands and then strain it. Okay, so yeah, or sieve it, or what I'm using my sonye or my colander. So I pour it into it, and you see that the nuts are all coming out. Okay, so this is the original way of making abenkwan. And I'm saying that the paste has come, especially when you're in the diaspora outside Ghana. You don't get these, so you use the paste one. But trust me, this is the best. It is the original, the authentic, and it is so delicious. It's like the taste in between the two is night and day. Trust me, it is night and day. It is just too different. So I'm adding more water to my nuts, so that I said we want to get everything out of it. So the nuts you shouldn't leave the nuts out with some palm. I'm even hot. Let me get in from Mackerel and come back. Okay. So all I'm saying is that as much as possible, you have to extract all the palm okay, from it. Everything, all the fruit, the meat, the aduane na ɛwɔ mu no nyinaa. So that's why I'm straining, making sure that nothing is left on the nut. Okay. So once that is done, I strain it all and I'm happy with it. I will just throw the nuts away. In Ghana, usually we will dry it up. You can use this for some oil, adringo. Okay. So yeah. So again, I'm going to strain it the second time. Okay, because my colander, it has big holes. Usually colander has big holes, so I'm straining it again. You can see that I've got something a little bit more. I will strain it again using a sieve, a finer sieve. Okay, so my meffin, which is the chaff, I'm adding some more hot water to it to get more of the food out of it. Okay, because you see that still the water will be red, and the color red. So our color now to me is red. Okay, and this was super hot, so I use a lot of cold water to cool it down. So that is it. And the chaff, usually we will dry it, and in my next or two videos you find out that we use it to the soldier to start fire. Okay, okay, so yeah, I'm using my fine sieve to sieve it again, and you realize that at the end I still have some roughage in it. Okay, and usually you have to be careful. You have these black things. It's from the nuts. When you pound, sometimes it breaks the nuts, so it's from the nuts. It's not anything extra foreign. Okay, yeah. So this is how much chaff would have been in the soup, which wouldn't have killed us, but you know, it's just for a friend say, what is the word I'm looking for? Fine tuning. Yeah, fine tuning our soup. Okay, so here I'm adding my vegetables. Okay, my chilies, onions, and my tomato. Right. Okay, so I'm going to let it boil, and it boils. My vegetables becomes very nice and soft. I'll take it out and I'll blend it, and then we'll add it to the soup. Okay, so it's boiling now, boiling, and you can see it's ready. So I'm using this I'm taking it, I'm using what, doesn't matter what I'm using to take out. I'm just taking out the vegetables to go and blend. Okay, so making sure say it being camry and it's nicely blended, and I've added it to it. Okay, raise the bottle and added it to it because then now has all that vegetables in it. It's okay. So I'm going to be adding I'm now going to be adding my soft fish. Okay, so my wele, my salmon, or what we call mackerel. Okay, in Ghana we call it salmon, but it's actually mackerel. Yeah, salmon. So I'm adding all that and all my soft fish and my wele. I'm adding it. My wele was soft, so it had to go in late. Otherwise, what a shock. Okay, so now my soup has become too much. It's so much in the saucepan. So I'm scooping some and setting it aside. Once it boils and it reduces, I'll add it. That's how I remember. That's how my mom used to do it. Only the put the saucepan half. I don't so nkwan no. And once I never baby. Hey, Madam Cash and Kwabenkwan. So here I'm adding prekese and my garden eggs. Okay, I realized I had some crabs, so I added the crabs. Why not? Why not? I'm saying nkwan dodo and say and dodo and say nkwan. It means plenty meat or plenty, and doesn't spoil the soup. Okay, if you have plenty meat in your soup, it doesn't spoil, right? So our soup is getting there. It is nice, and at this point, there's the aroma, no, the aroma in the house. No, you root to say abenkwan. Ne do me kon fufui. So I'm adding my soup. The one I set aside, because it has reduced. It will reduce drastically. You see that the next scene, nkwan no, reduce it. Okay, and palmnutsoup, it makes a mess and it splatters, so make sure that as you cooking you be cleaning as you go in. Okay, cleaning your surfaces, and you have some wet disinfectant wipes or anything, sponge, anything to be cleaning it. So I'm adding my mushrooms. Say mushrooms and chena bean, so I added my mushroom later in life. I said mushroom, so I palliative and chena. Hey. So I'm adding my onions and some more chilies, for good measure. Chilies, they did a nkwan wede. Nkwan mekono and so on. No papabi afra. So the chilies is not just for garnish, it's for eating as well. So look at me wiping my, walls and my surfaces, because it is palm oil. It can stain, so you have to, be on top of this cleaning. Okay, so now see how the soup has reduced nicely. Okay, yeah. that's reduced nicely, means that it is ready. So that is our soup done, right? So thank you all for joining me today, right? So if you're new here, welcome, right? Welcome to my existing subscribers, my family, my friends, all of you. You are all part of one big family, and I appreciate you so much. Okay, the soup is ready, and I have made my triplets fufu that we are going to eat. And yes, I'm at the beginning. But before then, I'll show you how to skim your oil off your abenkwan. So it is very important that once your soup is done, let it sit, especially when you use the authentic abe to make it. Let it sit for a few minutes, up 5 to 10 minutes. You see that the oil will settle. If you don't let it sit, you don't see the oil. You scoop all of it and you eat all the oil. Just actually you drink all the oil. So let it sit. When it sits and it settles for like 10 minutes, and you see all the oil will settle on top. So this is how you skim it, okay? You use your soft very gently. You press it down. Make sure you don't go too further down, otherwise you scoop the soup. Okay, so gently you scoop it. And if by mistake you scoop some of the soup, now it doesn't matter, it will settle at the bottom of the ladle. So all that you need to do is to pour it and leave the soup and pour it back into the big saucepan. So yeah, that is, you just keep repeating what I'm doing, and you scoop all the oil, and you find out how much oil I got. Look at that much oil, a lot of oil I got from it. So if you serve it immediately now, you wouldn't have seen this oil, and you would have drank all of it. Okay, so nkwan yami cash na kan I see so nkwan. No, yami cash na kan mass of yami cash. Oh yes, I mean buy me. I tell you that girl will kill me, but I won't die. That yummy cash. So must have said soon crown. So patroma in soon crown. Why? So oil, you scoop it before. So our soup is ready and so delicious, very good. Hope you give this a try. But if you don't have the proper abe, don't worry. I've got you covered. A recipe using the paste and the nkulenu and the Ghana best, all of them, no, is coming your way very soon. Okay, so stay tuned and thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.